But now think about it. Most people can't go 3 hours without eating. Imagine trying to go 3 weeks. Nah, it ain't going to happen in this day and age. Being prepared can reduce the fear, anxiety, and losses that come with life-changing events. And being prepared could be the difference between life and death. I want to help you protect yourself and your family by being prepared. If that's important to you, please keep watching. Hey everybody, I'm Bill, Hill Country Prepper. Why should you be prepared? I have people ask me this quite often. Why should you be prepared? If there's an emergency, I'll just call the ambulance, or I'll just call the police, or something like that. I'm sure you've probably heard that too. And what I do when people ask me that, I try to explain to them something real simple. It's called the rule of threes, the survival rule of threes. And it goes something like this, and here's how I explain it to them. Did you know that if you suffer a severe wound or a cut and you're bleeding profusely, you've only got about 3 minutes, right, before you bleed out and die? So that's why it's important to be prepared and have the skills and the knowledge, and I'll even say the tools, to help in that situation. You can buy tourniquets that can help stop bleeding. You can take classes to where you can learn how to treat deep puncture wounds. Okay, because you've only got about 3 minutes before you bleed out and die. And I tell them, did you also know that you've only got about 3 minutes to live without oxygen? And of course they look at me like, well, what are you talking about without oxygen? There's oxygen all around us. I go, not if you're choking. Not if you're choking on something, then you're not breathing air, and you got about 3 minutes before you die due to lack of air. Again, that's why it's important to be prepared and know CPR. Be able to have the tools to help somebody in the event that they're choking and they can't breathe. That's why it's important to be prepared. And I go on and tell them, I said, and did you know that you can really only last about 3 days without water? If you're in an emergency situation and you don't have access to clean drinking water, you're not going to make it. So that's why it's important to be prepared and either have water stored up or have access to water and be able to purify and filter that water, because 3 days isn't very long in a survival situation. And if you don't have water or means to get water or to filter water, you're not going to make it. And I go on and I say, I'm not done yet. Did you know that you can only last about 3 weeks without food? Now, 3 weeks might seem like a really long time, but now think about it. Most people can't go 3 hours without eating. Imagine trying to go 3 weeks. Nah, it ain't going to happen in this day and age. That's why you need to be prepared and have food stored up, readily available, safe to eat, not spoiled, not all nasty, but you need to have food. You need to be prepared. And that's what I tell people. It's like, this is why it's important for you to be prepared. And it's important to have the resources and the skills and the knowledge to go along with being able to survive, because the rule of threes, like I said, 3 minutes bleeding or 3 minutes without breathing, that's going to go by just like that. It's really important that you guys have a first aid kit. Here's the one that I keep in my truck at all times. Now, I'm not going to go through the contents of this. It's got your basic bandages and gauze, and I've thrown in some extra things like some gloves and some hemostats and some scissors. I think there's a lighter in here as well, and a couple other things that are, you know, some antibiotic creams and stuff like that. So it's a little bit personalized, but you can pick these up. I think they're about 15 bucks. I'll try to leave a link down below for you if you want to grab one of these just to get yourself started, and you can put your own stuff in there. But it's important. It's important for everybody to be prepared, because you just never know when something's going to happen. Now, if you guys find this information helpful, go ahead and press down on that like button. And if you're not a subscriber yet, why not? Go ahead and subscribe right now. And hit that notification bell, and you get notified each and every time I upload some new content. So you guys do that right now. Guys, I hope this was helpful for you. Remember the threes. 3 minutes bleeding, 3 minutes without breathing, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. You guys have a blessed day. Hill Country Prepper.